Many people want to become bodybuilders. They make a lot of money, get a lot of girls, and look pretty tough. But sometimes people don't want to put in all of the effort to build up that muscle. And depending on what experts you speak to, some will say it's impossible to actually get what they want in real life. So that's why many bodybuilders will use things like Synthol and other chemicals to have fake muscles. All of the bodybuilders on this list are allegedly using Synthol, but they've all been reported on by major newspapers, so I think it's safe to say these guys are not playing by the book. I'm Charlie, and today we're going to look at fake bodybuilders who took it way too far. But before I get hunted down and pummeled by a bunch of bodybuilders, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming up first, we have Valdir Segato. When this guy was a kid, he was nicknamed Skinny Dog. That's because he was a very skinny boy when he was growing up in Brazil. But today, he's much more comparable to the Incredible Hulk or maybe He-Man. He has apparently risked his life putting dangerous concoctions into his muscles. According to the Sun newspaper, he's addicted to using this. He said he wanted to be the biggest guy in his street, but I think that's pretty much done. Now he may even be the biggest man in Brazil. He's currently 48 years old and from Sao Paulo, Brazil. His biceps are 23 inches, and that's because he's been using a Synthol. This is basically a very deadly mix of oil, alcohol, and painkillers. And he's not drinking and eating this stuff, he injects it into his muscles. He regularly puts this into his chest, biceps, and shoulders. And this apparently makes his muscles swell up to almost double size. But this stuff is very dangerous for many reasons. It can cause nerve damage, infections, ulcers, and in some cases, strokes and even passing away. Doctors have warned him many times to stop doing this. But he's been doing it since 2013 and is still living. He has thousands of Instagram followers, and many of his followers nickname him the Hulk. His muscles literally look like square blocks from Minecraft. But apparently they're a big help to him at his construction job. Next up, we have Kirill Tereshin. Get ready to say Privyat to the Popeye of Russia. This guy's muscles are 24 inches. And he achieved this by injecting them with oil. However, he now wants to travel to the UK for surgery to save his arms. His muscles look like soccer balls on his very skinny body. He's become super famous on social media for having such gigantic arms. He used to be a normal gym goer and would simply lift weights. But a few years back, he was called up for Russian military service. This is known for being very tough, and he was worried that in the army he would lose lots of weight. So instead of building up his muscles, he tried out some Synthol oil. His mother was very worried at first, but she's now more relaxed. That's because she realizes the Synthol can be removed. But apparently he can't find a doctor in Russia that will do this. That's why he's now trying to raise money to fly to the UK to get the Synthol removed. Doctors did warn him that his arms may have to be amputated if he can't do this. The cost of the treatment he wants is 3 million rubles. That's a bit over 40,000 US dollars. And seeing as he has so many fans online, he may just make that money. Next up is Tony Geraldo and Alvaro Pereira. These two Brazilian brothers are gigantic muscle addicts. According to the Sun newspaper, their nickname is the Chemical Brothers. And that's because these two Brazilian bros have been injecting themselves with chemicals. They've managed to get 28-inch biceps from doing this. And they did it using Potenate B12. This is a chemical normally used for horses and cows, but instead they've been using it themselves twice a week. Their real names are Tony and Alvaro, but they go by Hulk and Conan respectively. They are willing to do anything to get big muscles, and that includes using Potenate B12. Potenate B12 is very addictive. It causes terrible damage to your kidney and liver, and it can even cause depression. Tony's wife even said that she doesn't like him injecting, but he said if you don't like it, then leave. Alpha move, Tony. He said him and his brother were once addicted to this stuff, but apparently they now have it under control but are still using it. The brothers also eat 12,000 calories per day. This includes a breakfast of 12 bananas and 6 egg whites each. The brothers used to be pretty skinny, but those days are over. Next up is Ronnie Rono. This bodybuilder is from Nairobi, Kenya. He was hooked on getting big and using Synthol injections to do so. However, according to Kenyan news site MassiveUpdates.com, he passed away. This happened late last year in 2019. He was apparently admitted to Greenview Hospital for 2 weeks. His arms had apparently wasted away and his body was very swollen, and when he saw himself in a mirror he burst into tears. Doctors say that this was caused by his Synthol injections. A small swelling began in his right arm, and then it spread to his chest before he passed on. He had an autopsy, but doctors could not work out what had actually taken his life. This is incredibly sad and a wake-up call to any bodybuilders using Synthol. Next up is Baghdad Bodybuilder. This bodybuilder is from Baghdad in Iraq. According to sickchirps.com, he's known for injecting his muscles with Synthol. His arms are about double the size of a person's head. His muscles do look very swollen and bulgy, which is a sign of Synthol use. Real muscles are much more how a body would normally look, but if they look inflated and swollen, this is a sign that Synthol has been used. He's apparently very big on Iraqi social media, but I hope his fans don't go to his head and he stops using these chemicals. We've already seen what happened to the Kenyan bodybuilder Romario, so let's hope that doesn't also happen to the bodybuilder of Baghdad. Next up is Rodrigo Ferraz. Rodrigo Ferraz is actually a meme known as Synthol Man. According to knowyourmeme.com, he is a Brazilian bodybuilder who has used Synthol, and he's actually appeared in many YouTube videos dancing and showing off his big muscles. Now, this guy's muscles do look very fake, but I have to say they don't look as big as some of the other people on this list. So maybe there's still some hope for Rodrigo. That being said, where his shoulders look kind of spiked is a sign that Synthol has been used. But despite him not looking as crazy as some of the other people on this list, he's still built up a pretty big fan base. But hopefully these fans don't encourage him to use any chemicals, as we've already seen what will happen if you use too many of those. Next up we have triple muscles. This image is of a bodybuilder known as Clover Arm. That's because his arm kind of looks like a three-leafed clover, or in my opinion, more like a fidget spinner. If he was smart, he would bring out his own fidget spinner and make millions. But really, we don't have tons of information on this man. All we know is that he has gigantic muscles, and according to hypersloth.com, he has used Synthol. In the image appears to be a female bodybuilder, but I don't think she is using any chemicals. Him, on the other hand, I'm not so sure. The rest of his body does not look big enough for his arms to be that huge, so it only makes sense. But what do you think about his muscles? Leave a comment, are they real or fake? Next up is Mega Arms. This image was apparently taken in Russia, so maybe these guys are friends of Kirill Terashin from before. I'm not sure whether these guys have been using Synthol or not, but according to hypersloth.com they have. The guy on the left really does look like the real life Popeye, as he even has Popeye's shirt. The curious thing about this man is his body does not look too fit apart from his arms, and also his arms look very swollen at the back, which is another sign of Synthol use. His friend also hasn't been using as much Synthol as him, but still a lot. As you can see, his muscles come all the way up to his elbow. That is very unhealthy and uncommon. So let's hope these guys lay off the chemicals and get back into the gym. And finally on the list, we have Chinese bodybuilder. This image went viral in 2018, and it's apparently of a Chinese bodybuilder at a bodybuilding contest. According to some news outlets, he has square muscles, but frankly I'm not sure if this one is real or not. I don't doubt that with body modifications you would be able to do this, but I'm not sure if purely using chemicals would give this effect. But you never know, maybe this guy is a real life Minecraft character. Leave a comment telling me if you think this guy is real or not.
Zombie apocalypse.